Hello and welcome back to the Elsie McClure version. Today we are in chapter 14 of Revelation. This is the seventh trumpet. We're in the third woe. And what just happened was the first and the second beast, okay? So we had the whole thing about the dragon and the woman, and now we're into first beast, second beast, and we're going to read verse 18, and then we're going to start in chapter 14, okay? Verse 18 of chapter 13. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Then I looked, verse 1, and behold, on Mount Zion stood the Lamb, and with him 1,044, who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven like the roar of many waters and like the sound of loud thunder. The voice I heard was like the sound of harpists playing on their harps, and they were singing a new song before the thrones and before the living creatures and before the elders. No one could learn the song except the 144,000. We were going to get there. Who have been redeemed from the earth. It is those who have not defiled themselves with women, for they are virgins. It is these who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. It is possible that this is where some people get the whole monk thing and not like abstaining. These have been redeemed from mankind as first fruits for God in the Lamb. And in their mouth no lie was found, for they are blameless. Then I saw another angel flying directly overhead with an eternal gospel to proclaim to those who dwell on earth, to every nation and tribe and language and people. And he said with a loud voice, "Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and the springs of water." Another angel, a second, followed, saying, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great, she who made all nations drink the wine of the passion of her sexual immorality." And another angel, a third, followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast and its image, and receives a mark on his forehead or on his hand, he also will drink the wine of God's wrath, poured full strength into the cup of his anger, and he will be tormented with fire and sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." Okay, so far, we got the 144,000 who are blameless, right? And they were on Mount Zion. And then you have three angels. First one saying, "Fear God," worshiping God. Second one talking about how Babylon has fallen. And third is warning those who have worshipped the beast. Verse 11. "And the smoke of their torment goes up forever and ever, and they have no rest, day or night. These worshippers of the beast and its image, and whoever receives the mark of its name." Here is a call for the endurance of the saints, those who keep the commandments of God and their faith in Jesus. Okay, so as of right now, we are noticing that there are still saints here, because the angel is telling them, here's the call for the endurance of the saints, or John is. So the endurance of the saints, those who keep the commandments of God and their faith in Jesus. Verse 13, "And I heard from heaven saying, write this, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Blessed indeed, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, for their deeds follow them." That is quite the promise and quite the blessing. All right, verse 14. "Then I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and seated on the cloud one like a son of man, with a golden crown on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand." Now, the sickle's going to be brought up later, okay? So remember that. It's going to be brought up in chapter 16, I'm pretty sure. "And another angel came out of the temple, calling with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud." Oh, no, this is not later. We're talking about this way, though. Sat on the cloud, "Put in your sickle and reap, For the hour to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is fully ripe. So he who sat on the clouds swung his sickle across the earth, and the earth was reaped. Then another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he too had a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, and the angel who has authority over the fire, and he called with a loud voice to the one who had the sharp sickle. Put in your sickle and gather the clusters from the vine of the earth, for its grapes are ripe. So the angel swung his sickle across the earth and gathered the grape harvest of the earth and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden outside the city, and blood flowed from the winepress as high as the horse's bridle for 1,600 stadia. Okay, so there's two harvests happening. Jesus harvests, but at the same time an angel harvests right afterwards, right? And the angel is harvesting the people that are going into the winepress of wrath, which would be unbelievers. So I think these are going to happen simultaneously. I don't think there is a rapture, because I don't think there's really anything that gives that. And I think the next bowls of wrath kind of prove that. But I would say that maybe the last woe Christians are not on earth for. I would say that's very possible. Yeah. I would just say really meditate on verse 13, because I think it's just lovely. Anyway, that's all I got for you today, guys. I know I've been a little bit behind on those studies. I should have done one last night. And instead, I did one this morning. But it is what it is, and we will keep doing them as promptly as we can. Yep, that's everything for today. And hey, if you're American, happy 4th. I will see you tomorrow.